Hey guys, Rod here again. So today, I just thought I'd make a little video about me, or rather, some of the art and garden sort of things I do. Um, yeah, I do some writing and poetry too, but won't get into that. But yeah, today we're in my garden in Australia. Um, it's a work in progress, that's for sure. One of the first things I want to show you is, as a lot of you know, I work with native wildlife, like trapping it, relocating it. I also do some ecology work, and one of the things that I rescue from a lot of these development sites where they're knocking down a lot of trees and bush and putting in houses is Australian native beehives. And they're really cool because they've got they do make honey. It's quite a yummy honey. It tastes very similar to normal honey, except it's got a very citrusy, almost eucalypt drop sort of flavor. But unlike your European honeybees that make about 50 kilograms of honey each year, these guys only make one. And they live in hollows in logs or trees rather. So I get a few. I've got nine in my backyard at the moment. Um, you can't really. Most of them are in logs. You can put them in boxes, and I do have some in boxes, but not here. They're at my father-in-law's house. But this one here is my pride and joy. Uh, whoop. So this one came from the mountain bike track of the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games. They were clearing a small track out, and this tree had actually fallen over, and I brought it home, cleaned it up, just initially wanted to put a little roof on it, but I kind of, as I do in a lot of my things, went a little further than that. So it's got one window, which if you look closely, they're just made out of sticks. This is where the native bees themselves are. So hang on, I'm actually blocking where they're coming in. They're very slow today, just simply because it's cold, it's winter here in Australia. They don't, if you were to look really closely, they look almost exactly the same as normal bees, but they're not yellow and they're like way smaller. So they kind of look like just teeny tiny little flies from the distance, but they don't actually sting at all, which is the cool thing. There we go. And these guys, they're a little different to normal bees because they have a beeswax that they make from native tree sap and sort of the normal wax called propolis. All the honey is stored in these what they call sugar bags. They're kind of like little sacks, sort of that surround this grapefruit sized spiral honeycomb that sits in the center of it all, in between these kind of brown sacks of brown sacks of pollen and honey. But this guy, it's beautiful. So it's got a little door inside there. That's a William Blake painting called Job's Ladder, one of my favorite authors. And yeah, it's even got a little roof there. So, the next two pieces of, actually, while I'm out here, I may as well just show you the rest of my. So this area here, we're still planting out. I got a pool, it needs a clean. And here's a lot of our other plants. Over here, I'm trying to turn this bougainvillea into an arch. You'll see there's another native beehive that I rescued right here. This one used to have a flip top lid with a perspex shield that you could look into it, but unfortunately a tree fell on it and it broke the whole thing. So didn't hurt the bees, but it did kind of screw up my little viewing window there. So the next bits that I'll show you, they're kind of a little half dead though, but that's our succulent little area. This is our front garden. And here's those pawpaws. Look how they're doing now. That just randomly sprang up. One day that's going to be a pond. At the moment, it's where all the rubbish gets thrown. The next that I want to show you is something that I'm kind of proud of, actually. When this whole coronavirus thing first hit, I thought I'd buy myself a Dremel because I wanted a hobby. I thought I'll be locked up, and once I finished all that shit that I want to do around the house, I'm gonna get bored. So I'm gonna want to teach myself something new. And I've always collected weird bits of wood from the bush or wherever I go, the wilds. So I bought myself a Dremel and thought I'd teach myself how to carve wood. Actually, no, it started because I've got a mine and knife fetish. So I bought a carving, like a pocket knife carving knife, an expensive one called a Seahorse Whittler. It's a US brand, and I carved off this. I found this bit of wood that looked exactly like a piece of bone. And I just carved these two shapes into it. There is an Aboriginal curse called pointing the bone, so it was a little inspired by that. And this one I just purely hand carved myself. You can see there's two different shades of wood within it, and I kind of like that because I thought, you know, the negative yin is a bit bigger than the kind of lighter colored positive as it swirls out of the bone. So it kind of had a very cursed sort of feel to it, but I'm not really a curser. I won't use it. I kind of like to live the sort of life that I don't have to curse people in the first place. I think that's the better way to go. Now this second bit, now keep in mind, this is the second thing I carved, and the very first thing I carved once I bought a Dremel, which is the coolest piece of equipment I've ever got in my life. But I'm really proud. So I call this, what did I call it? Burnt, some sort of burnt heart thing or something. So what this was this random piece of wood I found on a work site. It actually used to be a tree. It sat like this. Where this black part is, I can't really show you because I'm holding the camera, but That's where the trunk came out, where the black bit is. And where all the veins and arteries I've carved, that's where the roots were. So it sat like that. A tree grew, burnt down, and then it kind of re-sprouted. And then obviously they plowed over it with a bulldozer, and I got it. But such a tough little bit of wood. And if you turn it over here, this is where I really went to town in the details. So now you can see how cool it is, and just those gorgeous colors within the wood. I didn't expect them to be there, and I was just blown away by how cool this whole piece turned out. So I kind of left a bit of the burny bits because I thought it was cool, and just carved around it, and yeah, that's my burnt heart carving from a piece of wood that I found in the mud. Really proud of that. All right, so this is my paintings. I've done a few. It's not the best, but it's my kids. I definitely captured their likenesses pretty well, even though it's kind of a bit warped. Yeah, I'd like to practice a lot more painting, but it kind of turned out pretty well. That was a present. And over here, this is one of my other paintings. This is my baby girl, and it says, "In a forest, in a tree, there's a monkey swinging free." So that turned out pretty good too. I definitely would love to do some more painting. Over here, this is my corner. Got our little potbelly stove. And up here, this, I didn't build this clock, but I restored it, kind of. It was the cheapest, shittiest grandfather clock that anyone's ever come across. And friend had it, one of our wildlife carers, and it blew over in a storm at her place onto the floor. That's how light and crap it was. So it stopped working after that. She was throwing it away. I took it home, took the whole bottom off and turned it into a wall clock, and I painted it white with this gold paint and this cool anti-crackle sort of shit. And it does work, but everybody hates the sound except me. So we've kind of left it on set on 425 at the moment. This is Rocky. As you can see, he's a very good boy. He's only got 3 legs. Oh, say hi, Rox. But he looks after everybody. Doesn't stop him. This is my other front yard. Here's a wood pile. This is some more shit that I've collected to make some more sculptures out of. It's actually Australian mistletoe. Whoa. And my thinking was, so that piece is kind of snapped off, but wouldn't a carving out of a heart, keeping in mind that heart carving I made before, wouldn't sort of, doesn't that look like a heart? And what does mistletoe mean? What do people do under mistletoe? So a heart carved out of mistletoe, maybe with a couple of leaves left on, I thought would be real cool. So now I'm going to take you up, show you, this is my garden. Here's another beehive that I rescued. This one's got a little roof on, but most of the beehives I don't put that much effort on. This is where all my chooks live. In this area here. This part I'm gonna turn into a vegetable garden once spring hits. Gonna put some raised garden beds in there. And here's another native beehive. When you've got the bees in like actual hive boxes, you can get the honey. As I've got them just in the original tree trunks, I don't actually access any of the honey unless you split that whole hive open. So I don't want to do that. And let me show you the rest of my garden. This beehive here, I'm kind of real proud about, just because it's really, really tall, and really the cavity they've made it in is really thin. So this thing sits, let's see if I can get it all in. It's about 2.5 meters tall, and the cavity inside, normally they need like about 8 liters, but they've stretched that 8 liters out up this really narrow cavity that leads up the whole tree. So there's the entrance, and it goes all the way up. And this one's so tall they've actually got a secondary entrance. I don't know if you can see it, right up the top there. And you can see how busy these guys are because they're in the sun, so they're a lot warmer than that one at the front door. Now, I'll show you the rest of the garden. I'm kind of pretty proud about this because even though it's falling apart and I haven't done anything for a long time, I dug this entire thing out with just a shovel and a pick. Here it is. And every bit of this playground equipment I got for almost for free. So I dug this level out, these slides and swings here, all for free. That dangerous 80s slippery slide in the background there, that one I bought off a guy for, he wanted $5 for it. I gave him 10. Little ladder. That trampoline is absolutely enormous. It's about 4 meters across, and I got that off for free off some Facebook giveaway site, and I thought it was only half the size when I originally went to get it. Put it together, was going to put it somewhere totally different. It turned out to be enormous, and I had to I'd basically filled in this valley and turned it into one of those cool in-ground trams, because I hate those trampolines with the nets around. I mean, seriously. Here's another beehive. This was the very first beehive I managed to rescue successfully. It's slow as well, just simply because it's cool. It split apart big time, so that's hence the roof cladding all around it. That jungle gym, or whatever you may call it in your country, that was I swapped the guy I buy my chickens off. The girl I buy my chickens off, I swapped her grandfather a carton of beer, 4X Gold for it. And they don't make them like that anymore. This is our fireplace. We have a lot of good times down here. Our fire pit. Like I said, this whole area I dug out across about a year or so, like literally just with a shovel and a pick. But we have a lot of good times down here now. These little knobbles that you can see there and there, they're the compass points. So they're south, west, north, and east on the other side. This I just rescued, but it is a good little totem for us. I think it's meant to be a bird of paradise. And there are our chairs. See, we have this thing in Brisbane called curbside collection, where every year everyone puts all their junk out. Everyone then gets whatever they want, and then they pick up the rest. And normally I get myself a new set of wicker chairs every year and then burn the old ones. But with coronavirus, that got cancelled. So yeah, my wicker chairs need a little upgrading. So yeah, so that kind of gives you just a little idea of what I get up to in my spare time when I'm not pondering the mysteries of the universe and the occult. Hope you guys have a fantastic week, and hopefully I'll make a video soon. Life's kind of been a little busy though. Look at me, I'm tired. I've had like 4 hours sleep for the last 5 days. Nothing bad. Just yeah, so much cool shit to do. But yeah, you guys take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye now. Hey guys, actually there's one more place I wanted to show you, and I don't know what you call it. It's my shed, my man cave, my center of creativity. But yeah, God. So this place here is what normally most people would call a garden shed. For me, it's obviously a little different. Also really messy, so big apologies right now. But yeah. So let's see. Whoops. This here is kind of my little altar, and I know it's just not coming out on the video, but hey, what can you do? Everywhere else in here is essentially just a big museum to me. Or rather, all the cool stuff that I've collected over time and just don't know quite what to do with. So down here we have some, which I know the lighting's really bad, we have some nests made out of mud by fairy martins and magpie wrens, and there's some wood with cool hollow bits that I'm going to use to make beehives. This thing here is a fortune-telling device based on an African design. Long story, but yeah. Oh, cool shit up here. These are bush turkey eggs. Obviously, no bush turkeys in them anymore. This was a bone I found when I was like 7. Some ingredients-y stuff. Berries from a rowan tree. Other kind of stuff. Oh, this guy. That is a kangaroo skull. That is a koala skull. No, I didn't kill them. More interesting stuff. That's a tree house that I will build one day. Is my stuff. You can kind of see it's a mixture of utilitarian and a bit more. This is my contemplation spot, right under the ram's horns there. So I'll sit in here, shut that door, and just chill out with a nice warm cuppa. Shut the whole world out. Now in front of you is my coolest thing. So I rescued this from a site. It was at the very top of an ironbark tree that's been struck by lightning. So it's already charged with some pretty cool powers. But just look at it. Hang on. I'm sitting down here. There's a very feminine vibe there. In fact, there's two. So I want to kind of somehow combine my wood carving while at the same time capturing this cool thing that, not ruin this amazing thing that Mother Nature's created. Like there's some powerful energies emanating out of these orifices. But yeah, guys. Once again, that's it. You take care now. And I'll be back sometime soon with, I don't know, something a little deeper. But I hope you enjoyed this little window into me. And look forward to chatting soon. See ya.